Okay, so like everyone has questions for vegans. These are the top questions I've come across. Also, when I worked in an office, I passed around a sheet of paper with questions on it and asked them at the end, if you had a question for a vegan, what would it be? So there's some of those included here. Let's get started. How long have I been vegan? I've been vegan for just under 2 years, about 1 year and 6 to 7 months. Where do I get my protein? Ooh. The winning question here, where do we get our protein? We get our protein from legumes, which include beans, lentils, and that includes tofu and tempeh, which are made from soy products, quinoa and teff, seeds like chia, flax, hemp. Hemp is a huge high protein food. Spirulina, brown rice, oats. All of these things sound very boring. What you don't know when you're not a vegan is all of these foods can be transformed. Your milks are mostly nut-based or oat-based or even rice milk if you like. All of these items which I listed just there about where we get our protein. So you get your protein when you're eating your milk. You can make tofu mayonnaise. I could go down into detail of how much this protein, how much that, but I just want to let you know all of those foods are very high in protein and you will get enough. I am not protein deficient, nor is any vegan. I have never come across a protein deficient person. Now, if you want more detail, there is a guy I follow. I'll have the link in the description below. His name is plantproof.com and he does a very good blog post on where about he gets protein. Also, he is a male figure who likes to go to the gym a lot, which is the complete opposite of what people picture as veganism, like a weak, womanly diet, which is completely changing, which I love. What made me make the decision to try or do veganism? I was always curious about the diet and how it affects your body, how it affects your mood, how it affects your life. So I always felt like I was going to try veganism, and then I did. So I was just curious. Any tips on giving up animal products? You don't necessarily need to do all of these, but I feel they will help. Just to put it out there, to completely change your diet and your eating habits and everything you know about food is very brave and strong. So when you do first initially say no, it's different. So it feels different, you're in your uncomfortable space, but I want you to know that it does get easier. It gets much easier. The more you give in, the harder it will be. So if you say no, 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 and then give in to an ice cream one day, it'll be harder to do it the next time. So do continuously try to keep it up. I would avoid going out or going for dinner for maybe about the first 2 weeks, just to make it that bit easier on you. But when you go to dinner with people that aren't necessarily vegan and the restaurant isn't easy to get a vegan dish and you think, I don't really want to put any unnecessary attention on me, it's just easier, I'll get what I like here. Doesn't mean you can't go out for dinner, just the first 2 weeks. Preparation. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. If you don't get the substitutes like almond milk instead of milk, beans, tofu instead of meat, buy the foods that will help you. There are lots of frozen foods that help. Frozen veggie burgers, vegan sausages, vegan cheese. Talk to a vegan in your area. It could be your grandmother's cousin, it could be your brother's wife's babysitter, anyone. The person in your area will know the vegan restaurants, will know what to buy from where, at how cheap it is, will know the brands, will know what's available. They don't have to become best friends. It doesn't mean you can't be friends with your normal friends, just it will help, trust me. Go to vegan restaurants. They're delicious. They can be very affordable. I remember the first time I went to a proper vegan burger joint in Sydney, I was in disbelief. I got the pulled pork one and it tasted like pulled pork. My friend got the chicken one, it tasted like fried chicken. It really does open up your eyes to how tasty and how alike some of the foods can be. So go to the vegan restaurants. Why am I vegan now? I feel better. If I were to put it into two main reasons, it would be one, I feel better every single day. I feel lighter, I feel more positive, more motivated, very energetic. And number two, when I eat, I'm full. With vegan food, when you're finished a meal, you're fully satisfied. You don't want more even though you're too full. And that's not only me, that's what I find with pretty much everyone. They're shocked. They're like, I don't crave this, I don't want that. Sometimes I don't even want dessert because honestly, I'm just happy full. What are my energy levels like, and do I crash in the afternoon? I'm a very energetic person, always have been, but I do feel like I do have more energy. And if I crash in the evening really does depend on if I drink coffee or not. If I have about 4 coffees before 4 p.m, I will crash later. One thing I did find, and a lot of other people find as well, is they sleep better. So not only do we have more energy, but you sleep better through the night. Do I miss meat and chicken? No. Am I vegan because I truly care about animals? At first, no. But now I do look at a pig and a calf and a cow like I would a dog. Before I had the whole mentality, it's a circle of life, that's just the way it is. But now when I don't eat anything that wasn't ever living, I do feel that I care a lot more about animals, and it's the fact that they don't have to die is, I have changed my way I look. Do I miss the taste of meat? No. Are you hungry all the time? No. How do I have the time, motivation, and discipline? It doesn't take a lot of time. Once you learn where your protein comes from, you know that for life. Once you know a recipe that you like, you know to eat that. It takes a little bit of time at much, but not much. So easily you just do it. There is enough time in the day. Motivation and discipline. Motivation, you don't need motivation to be on a vegan diet. You need motivation to try and keep at that work project you need. You need motivation to keep going to the gym when you're tired. You need motivation to make you feel and go up and do something challenging. Veganism gets so easy and it's enjoyable. I went to a family a family event and met a lovely lady, and she and her husband were in their late 50s and were learning about veganism through me that night. They had never really heard about it, didn't really know what you could and couldn't eat. So I did the most veganist thing ever and spent the entire night talking to them, answering their questions and telling them how great it is to be vegan. And she said, I'm gonna give it a go. And she did. Within a week, she was making vegan cheeses. In her spare time, just researched all these recipes, cut out everything, and she loved meat. Every time I meet her, she just can't believe how much she's enjoying it. She's just not craving anything. She was a huge chocolate lover. She hasn't touched chocolate, and nor does she want it. There's no motivation. It's not a diet. You just eat food when you're hungry. It's just different food. There is no discipline towards the end of it. You don't need the meat. And once you realize that, you find other things you like. When you find the things you like, you look forward to them. You look forward to the falafel kebabs. You look forward to the pulled pork pizza made from jackfruit roasted. And therefore, you don't want the other things that you wanted before. And it's you couldn't imagine going back to that because you get just as much satisfaction, if not more, from the new alternatives you have found. This question was very interesting. Okay, I don't know if I have enough time. Okay. Do I put as much effort into researching microplastics consumption in general as I have put into being concerned about human consciousness? And if not, why? Through becoming vegan, I have become more conscious about waste and reducing my use of waste, especially in plastic products as well. I don't use plastic products when I go to the grocery store. I just chuck all of my fruit and veg into the basket. I buy in bulk and preferably in biodegradable material if I can. I'm conscious about how much water I use. No, I don't buy any plastic containers. I would pay more for the glass. Where does my toothbrush go? You can get bamboo toothbrushes that are also biodegradable. I don't accept receipts unless it's an expensive electrical product that I will probably break and will need the receipt of. Don't accept plastic bags. I use compost, and if I don't have access to a compost, I go to a friend's. When I'm using vegetables, I use all the vegetable, and then I keep the roots and waste products for stocks and vegetable soups. I have learned a lot more, but no, I haven't put as much effort into the study of bioplastics and reducing waste and ways to do that as I have into food. And that is personally because I got into veganism through food. I have learned a lot more, and I do feel I will learn more along the way. This question was from the only other vegan in my office. If I were stuck on a desert island, would I eat meat? No, I wouldn't. I don't even think I could bring myself to kill an animal now. I'd probably eat some poisonous berries by accident or something, but I wouldn't eat an animal, no. Do I miss cheese? No. I didn't really like cheese before I was vegan, so I'm not too fussed on it now. Also, you can get a lot of vegan cheeses and can make your own cheeses. Do I feel like a super spiritual human? Yes, I do. I do actually. Sorry, battery died. Ellen DeGeneres made a comment on veganism on her show once.
I mean, I really truly believe that we take in energy and our thoughts are important and all that stuff. I believe in that kind of positive thinking, and I can't imagine that if you're putting something in your body that's filled with fear or anxiety or pain, that isn't somehow going to be inside of you. And I used to be a more anxious person and a more edgy and more, everything was a little more, jumpy and sad. And I think that's, not putting that stuff in my body is...
And I'm the same. I do feel that whatever energy you give out is what is recycled, is used of somebody else. So when an animal is sad, scared, unhappy, I do feel that a lot of their energy will be in their meat. So if you eat that meat, you will take in that energy. I actually went to a restaurant, and while I was there, a man beside me, sitting close by, got a steak with some sort of dairy sauce and an egg on top of his chips. And I remember kind of looking at it. It had been so long since I'd seen a piece of meat or blood, or actually I was kind of in shock looking at it. Not crazy shock, not like, oh my god, meat, but kind of a moment, clarification, like that was living once. None of my food ever lives, and yours, literally, there's 3 things that came from a living thing. It wasn't really until that moment where I realized I'm kind of spiritually in this as much as I am for the food benefits. You feel kind of empowered and liberated to know what you're doing. It does help, and you feel like you're doing right by the way. As corny and as vegan as that does sound, you feel that way, and there's no other words to describe it, to be honest. Cool, I think that is all of my questions. Just a side note, if you have an interest on the health benefits and aren't really into veganism from the animal side of things or spiritual side, and just want to see what we need and what we eat and what we can get out of a vegan plant-based diet, What the Health, it's on Netflix. I would say watch it. It's not that long. It made my brother try veganism, still going strong after a couple of weeks. Made my partner try it. They love it. They literally bond over which milk they put in their coffee. So yeah, that's it for me today, guys. If you have any more questions, I will more than gladly do. Okay, it's time to end this video. I'm hungry. Yes, if you have any questions, put them down below. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, and please like, subscribe, and I guess I'll see you here next time. Okay, bye guys, thank you. Meat. My legs are going dead. I'm not putting that in. My feet are going, no. My leg is going dead. You know when fiberish, whoa. I could say this literally like 5 minutes ago without the camera. Why can't I say it now? Ow, my foot. I was very well worded. I'm really happy about that. Next question.